Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminisce. Just had to think then what it's actually do, because sometimes I'm not too sure. But anyway, Time Lurker. Now then, this is a track we meant to do some time ago, and then not completely forgot about it, but because my organisation skills are woeful. But so suffice to say, it got left behind. But we're back, and we're going to do it. So let's have a little listen to it, shall we? Stopped here for two reasons. One is I'm going to cough. Let's get that out of the way. Excuse me. And the second is I've left this so long to do now that I've absolutely forgotten what it sounds like. But I do know that this is a track I picked. That I do know. So there's going to be something about it that gelled with me. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this track I was doing. It's got to be something about the artist that gelled me. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it at all. So we are now, I can safely say, on a journey together as to what this sounds like. I'm sure it'll come back to me once we get a bit further into it, but we'll see. My memory ain't what it used to be. So after that, I'd say a gentle introduction, but that quiet introduction that did hint at what was to come, certainly had that sort of esoteric air to it when it kicked off proper. Of course, as you know, that makes me happy, but I don't pay attention to lyrics, we know this, but I can't fail to glimpse album covers, and so sometimes album covers bear no relation to what lays within, but here we are shades of grey. It is a monochrome music, and of course the thing with greyness is, as any sort of decent photographer who does black and white work will tell you, that doesn't mean to say it's it's featureless and boring, anything but. It can be used to great effectiveness to accentuate and to add atmosphere. And this is what the artist is doing with the greyness of this music. And just looking at the album cover again, it's just nothing to do with the music. It's sprung to mind is how often the use of a body clothed otherwise, with either the head disintegrating or, in this case, well, what is it depicting? You tell me. But there's a disintegration and a death and a decay aspect to it, which falls well with the vocalization. That sort of wretchedness of the vocalization works. But yes, just curious how often albums, there's lots of them, but enough for me to pick up on the fact that I've seen this motif for a head on its way somewhere else on a number of occasions now. So, can I throw in a thank fuck here? I can. I'm going to do it in a thank fuck. When the music dies down a bit, or the pace dies down here, I always appreciate, and in this case very much so, a resistance to use that horrible bloody gallop, slow gallop that very often is used in all sorts of music really, but in death and black metal, more black metal than anything else, to be honest. It annoys the hell out of me. But here, there's a far more inventive drum beat used to carry the music through, and the guitar sort of is bleeding an atmosphere as well on top of it, or below it, along with it. So yes, so just to reiterate, thank fuck for this sort of drum beat as opposed to the awfulness that it could be. Thank you again. So the artist is very much playing with the exposure on the camera here. The play of light and dark is very well done, and obviously the contrast that gives sort of pinpoints chapters in the music. And I mean, contrast can be anything from tone, speed, or what have you. Sometimes it can seem gratuitous, but this flows. It is when many moons ago, when my children found the dimmest switch in our lounge, they had lots of fun with it, and it reminds me of them here, sort of experimenting with the dimmer switch on the lights to a degree. There's not a direct correlate. It's not a direct analogy. So here the torches are out. It's almost as if there's a torchlit procession. I say walking because it is quite brisk. So it's as if there's a group of riders on horses or the like, with bearing torches, riding through the murk here. I say murk because when atmospheric forms of black metal are shades of grey, there's a murkiness to it. This hasn't got a lot of it. There's a slight misting, maybe a slight misting, but everything is reasonably clear. So it isn't riding through the murk, but it is sort of lighting up the dark a bit, I think. So there you go. I just realised I never look at anything to do with song titles. I see them, but they don't particularly register. I've just looked at as I'm looking at the Bandcamp page, looking at the title of the song, which obviously alludes to fire, and I don't know if Cavalière, I'll close the page now, so I'm probably saying it wrong, refers to a cavalry. If it does, then subconsciously I may have used that analogy of horse riders with torches by subconsciously making my own mind up as to what the song title meant. But anyway, it I won't say it rose to a climax, but it plateaued on a very enjoyable note. The sort of last minute or so had reached its peak, if you will, but didn't diminish either. So yes, thoroughly enjoyable. And now I shall have to listen to the rest of the album again to remind myself what it sounds like. I nearly bought it, but I thought I'll listen to it a couple more times, which I will. I think I'll be on the strength of this track alone. I'll be buying it. So why don't you do it too? Just a thought. Anyway, click your bollocks. Catch you next time. Cheerio.